So, what I believe to be good news, the Illinois governor has cleared more than 11,000 low-level marijuana convictions in the state, given pardons for them. I believe it's a good thing. Marijuana is kind of one of those things where I don't believe it should have been illegal in the first place on several different grounds. One, people have been using it for thousands of years, so you're taking something that people already use and making it illegal. Two, who cares? It's your own body. I mean, why should we care what someone does with their own body as long as they're not affecting other people or harming themselves, like, I don't know, something bodily harmful. Not to say that marijuana doesn't have harmful effects, but that goes to the caveat of my next points. We can study it better when it's legal. We can figure out what the side effects, what the negative is. Of course, we're going to hear what the positive is because proponents of marijuana legalization will tout those for us. We're covered there. I also want to know what the negative drawbacks are as well. And believe you me, there with everything else going to be negative drawbacks. And the other part, the black market. You make something illegal, you push it underground into an environment where might makes right, which is what the black market is. Whoever has the most muscle, whoever has the most guns, whoever controls it by fear and violence is right, has the might. We bring it out legally, we make it under, like alcohol, tax it, get revenue from it, regulate it, study it. We're all better off for it. And I don't believe people should be in jail for marijuana anyways. It's a plant. It grows everywhere, What if we find later on that daisies and, I don't know, you can grind daisies up and form a powder and snort it and you get high. So what, do we make daisies illegal all throughout the United States? I don't know. Anyways, let's read this. Illinois' governor granted more than 11,000 pardons for low-level marijuana convictions on Tuesday, describing the step as a first wave of thousands of such expungements anticipated under the state's new marijuana legalization law. And good for them. Good for them. Your life shouldn't be ruined and you shouldn't have a record for a plant, essentially. And doing something for your own body. If you're going to let people drink alcohol to relax after a long, hard day, then you got to let people come home from work and light up after a long, hard day. It's the same thing. It's just people trying to relax, trying to get the day over with. Alcohol prohibition didn't work. Marijuana prohibition doesn't work either. The expungement process is a key part of the law, which takes effect Wednesday and made Illinois the 11th state to legalize marijuana for 21 or older. And it does seem to be picking up speed. More and more states are talking about it. Especially on the medical marijuana level. A lot of states have that legalized. I believe it was 35 or 32 or somewhere in the 30s. I might be wrong about that, but if I remember correctly, that's what it was. And 11 states legal for 21 and older. When they crafted the policy, Illinois lawmakers said they wanted to repair some of the damage caused by law enforcement's efforts to combat sale and use of the drug, particularly in minority communities. And yes, it does show that minority communities are definitely impacted more by these kinds of laws. I have yet to see a real good study on why that is, though. Is it because of over-policing in those areas? Is it because of scrutiny in those areas? I don't know. There are several factors to take in. Each factor is quite biased. A lot of people will say that it is over-policing and discriminatory police practices. That might very well be the case, but I'm more of the opinion that it's probably a factor of many different things, that we can't just focus on one, that it's got to be a lot of level of things. And I don't believe you can attack it one level at a time. I think you're going to have to attack each of the causes at the same time and whittle them down that way. But I could be wrong. You never know. I'm going to skip down to this part here because it's quite a long article. State officials estimate that 116,000 convictions for possession of 30 grams or less of marijuana are eligible for pardons under the new Illinois law. Wow, 116,000 convictions pardonable. That's good. That means it's 116,000 people that might possibly be able to have the chance to enter the workforce in a manner that they couldn't have before with this hanging over their head. Perhaps it will open doors for, I don't know, tech jobs and things like that. The tech industry is growing at 12% as far as like digital and computer programming and things like that. Other industries in the tech industry are shedding jobs, but 116,000 people now possibly eligible for more benefits, more education, better job opportunities. That's great. That's great. I don't think anybody should have a criminal record for a little bit of green. Illinois State Police were responsible for identifying those convictions and sending the records to the State Prisoner Review Board, which then forwarded eligible cases to the governor's office for pardons. That's good. That's good. We are ending the 50-year-long war on cannabis, Pritzker said in a statement. We are restoring rights to many tens of thousands of Illinoisians. We are bringing regulation and safety to a previously unsafe and illegal market, and we are creating a new industry that puts equity at its very core, which is good. New industry, new jobs. You gotta have people to grow it. You gotta have people to ship it. You gotta have people to regulate it. You gotta have people to sell it. You gotta have storefronts. You gotta have. So you're creating a whole new industry, which, by all predictions, people say is going to be a multi-billion-dollar-a-year industry. Why not? Think of it this way. Let's say you go back in time in a time machine and you're sitting next to a guy and you know for a fact that here in a week prohibition is going to end on a federal level. They end prohibition, which was a failed experiment as well, the same as prohibition on marijuana. And you're sitting next to a guy and he happens to be, I don't know, Anheuser-Busch or pick any big name alcohol person, and you know, hey, wow, man, guess what? You're going to invest. You're going to latch on and you're like, you know what? Yes, because I know you're going to be successful. So you're creating a whole new industry that could, in the future, become very successful. Now, the drawbacks. Ha-ha! Yes, you can't have advancement without drawbacks. Very well could come out that we find that marijuana is as bad as tobacco, and marijuana becomes the next big tobacco company style scenario. Right? Very well could happen. Future will tell, but right now I don't believe making it illegal. It'd be like making cigarettes illegal. Let's stop it. Let's stop making things illegal. Prisons for profit, I understand. They need money. I hate prisons for profit. I think it should end, but that's a whole nother story. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are you pro-prohibition? Are you anti-prohibition? Do you believe this will help fix things, help tax revenue? I believe we put it, tax it. It's like sex work. We should make it legal, put it under the Department of Health, because you're not going to stop it. Because it's illegal doesn't make it stop. It's the oldest profession in the world, so obviously it's not going to stop. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's be real. So let's regulate it. Let's make it safe. Let's have designated places that have health professionals there. Perhaps we can even stem the spread of STDs and things like that. We tax it. We get a little bit of revenue from there. We educate the workers so that way they are aware, so we know everybody is educated. You regulate it so now it's not hidden and ruled by the rule of the gun. You're not going to stop it. Slapping the word illegal on something doesn't stop it. So you may as well take the next step and say, well, what can we do that is better than making it illegal? How can we own this and say, hey, we can't stop it, but we need to make it as safe as possible and at the same time create tax revenue as well? May as well. You're not going to stop it, right? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think on this. I have rambled long enough. I'll see you guys on the next one.